How did I meet the MVP of Super Bowl III, Joe Willie Namath? Find out on today's episode of Baseball King Collectibles. Hi everybody, welcome back to the show. Welcome all you new subscribers out there. We're building you one at a time. And I'm so glad that you join us. And we have some wrestling fans joining us. We do everything on this channel. Baseball, football, basketball. It's Baseball King Collectibles, but we do everything. You name it. We'll cover it. But my main thing, of course, is in-person autographs. And on today's episode, boy, I have a big one. This is a legendary figure in sports history and football history and New York history. Back in the 1960s, late 60s, there was no bigger name than Joe Namath. Mickey Mantle was on his way out. Joe Namath took over the town. It was his town, whatever. He was on the back pages of the Post, the news, all the newspapers, every day, even in the off season, because even in the off season, he was controversial. He did he was a woman, big with the women. He was in movies. He did, you name it, commercials. Joe Namath was bigger than big. He was the number one sports marketing guy at the time. He was bigger than Jordan at that time. He was huge. So meeting Joe Namath was like, wow. And I was a big Namath fan at the time. Before they merged, I was rooting for the Jets. I'm a Giant fan now, but once the leagues merged, I gave up my Jet rooting. So, once they merged Giants and Jets, I had to pick a choice. So, but I did root for the Jets because they had no affiliation to the Giants. It was a separate league. I rooted for them in that Super Bowl III, which Namath, of course, the old famous photo. He's walking off the field with his finger up in the air, number one. That was just a huge upset. It put the AFL on the map where a couple years later, the leagues were forced to merge. So, anyway, information, of course, is always the key. All right. So I got the information. Joe Namath's going to be at JFK Airport. He's leaving on a flight. So that's really the easiest ones when they're leaving. If it's 11 o'clock flight leaving, they get there an hour before, an hour and a half before. So you don't have to wait too long usually. 20 minutes usually. If you time everything right, you could be there in an hour and a half hour, less. So that day, my brother wanted to go. My brother's a huge Jet fan, a huge Namath fan. He had season tickets for many years, and he loved Joe Namath. He's not into autographs at all. He couldn't care less about autographs. Nobody in my family cared about autographs, so I usually went alone, other than with friends, but nobody was. It was a Sunday morning. Nobody was around. My brother said, yeah, Joe Namath? Oh, absolutely. And he had a Jets helmet to get signed, so which was great. And I had an 8x10 photo to get signed, which that's all I had. So you get what you have. It's a short notice. So I always have something for somebody. So I had an 8x10 for Namath, and we headed off to JFK. Well, we're waiting there 10, 15 minutes, not long. Here comes a limo. Nope, no Namath. Here comes another limo. Nope, no Namath. Here it is. There finally. Steps out of the car. You can't miss him. We're the only ones there. There's no collectors in sight. The airport is really quiet. There's nobody coming and going. There's no cabs. It's a dead morning, a Sunday morning, really, at JFK Airport. It's very quiet. The only time it's very, very quiet. Here comes Namath, walks out of the car, has his bags, ready to, step on the curb and go, hey, Joe, what's up? And, hey, guys, how you doing? Back and forth, blah, blah, blah. Joe, can you mind signing an autograph? Oh, sure. Are you kidding me? Joe Namath, number 12. You see, wrote down here. Let's see. Got it right here. Joe Namath, number 12. See? Perfect. Beautiful autograph. He always gives you a great autograph. Zoom in on the graph if you can see it a little better. But yeah, no, it was just unbelievable. Can we take the photo with you, Joe? Of course. Come on. Come around. Come here. Take the photos. We take the photo with him. My brother, too, he got the photo with Namath. He got his helmet signed. I got my photo signed. And the memory of that, see, for me, it's a double memory because I lost my brother 10 years ago now. He would have been 75 coming up in a couple of days. And that's why I'm making this video, as a little tribute to him, because Joe Namath was his number one player for sure all the years. And to meet him was a very special thing for him. I know that. And, and it was just great. It was just an unbelievable thing meeting somebody like that in the situation where nobody's around. Because go back, 30, 40 years before that, Namath couldn't walk down the street without being surrounded. He couldn't walk, to be a crowd, and he couldn't go anywhere without being surrounded. So now to get him one-on-one now, it's like, that's how it is. You got to wait sometimes a long time for these guys. But in person, of course, as always, that's how I met Joe Namath. And it was a great, great time in my life. It really was. I can't go back to, Mickey Mantle was one of of course, my better ones. Muhammad Ali. Those are my greats. So this is my greatest NFL, autograph that I feel in my collection. For thrill, for me, not the greatest player, of course, but for thrill for me. And the meaning it has for me, my brother, will last forever. So thank you so much for coming. Thank you for joining. Don't forget, like, subscribe, ring the bell if you want notifications, and see you on the next episode.